We're staging for another half hour of nitro-fueled NHRA talk. It's The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts with Marty Hough and 10-time NHRA winner Doug Herbert. Brought to you by Hercules Tires. Now, here's your hosts, Doug and Marty.
This is The Straight Line on Drag Racing. Thanks for being here for our half hour of horsepower. Appreciate you being with us. With one of the most interesting weekends NHRA has experienced in quite a while, we'll get all the details from the Vice President of Communications and Public Relations for the NHRA, Terry Blount. We're staged and set to launch another edition of The Straight Line. Wherever you may be, coast to coast around the world, you are watching and listening to The Straight Line here on MRN.com. Along with four-time IHRA Top Fuel champion and 10-time NHRA National Event winner Doug Herbert. I am Marty Hough, getting off the weekend from Pacific Raceways up at Seattle, where we learned absolutely nothing, except for maybe funny cars go really fast nowadays. But unfortunately, if you didn't have the opportunity to catch all the action or what happened, rain canceled out the final rounds of Pacific Raceways. And so the final rounds of the two Nitro divisions and Pro Stock will be moved to different locations.
Which is really surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in Seattle. They're ready to race, unless the forecast for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday maybe looked really bad. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, everybody is tired after a 3-week Western swing. I get it. But, man, get that race done. Get it in the books. Declare a winner. Give the trophy away. I don't know.
Points distributed.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean,
all
there's
those things.
a lot.
I'm very surprised. Graham Light is a friend of mine, director of communications or president of competition. Actually,
Yes.
I think is his title, and he does a good job. And I've dug my heels in on him before. 1 year, some time ago at Reading. It rained out on Sunday, and we were going to race Monday. And then after we didn't get a run on Monday, he said, well, we're just going to take the final to Indy. And I said, I'm not going to Indian race. We're racing Fuller in the final, which Lee Beard is crew chief. I mean, they were based in Indy. I said,
Right.
I'm not going to Indy and racing them at their home track for the final. We're in Reading. I want to race in Reading. Let's race. And I don't know how I talked him into it, actually. I wish we'd have got Graham on the show today because
Yeah.
I really don't know how I talked him into it. I think I was right, but under his perspective, I could see how that was, it costs everyone a lot of money to stay there till Wednesday that week before we finally ran the final. But at the end of the day, the outcome was right.
Yeah, you won.
We won. Yeah.
Yes.
But it was, I understand, but I'm having a little trouble understanding this one, to be honest, unless the forecast was just horrible for Monday and Tuesday, because really all they had to run was the finals. I think everything else
That is correct.
was finished and ready. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems strange.
So we'll get all the details from Terry Blount and the NHRA's perspective on why they did this, and then we've got a lot to talk to Terry about, and because it's been a very successful 2016 season, especially Western Swing Network television live. It's
Yeah, it was
been
good.
a heck of a year.
Yeah, it was really good. The overall ratings are way up.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm reading is really, really good. Terry Blount is the one that's getting the information out, so I'm sure he'll have some good information to tell us, and he's a good guy. So curious to talk to him. Also, the cars were flying in Seattle. All the cars were flying. The funny cars particularly. Del Worsham, number one qualifier, ran unbelievable and goes into the final round without lane choice. To Ron Cabs.
Yeah,
and
right.
I mean, they both ran record-type runs the
Yeah.
whole day. So incredible. I haven't talked to Dell the last few days. I'm friends with Dell and with Ron Cabs. So what a race up there for the funny cars. Not that the dragsters were any slouch.
Oh,
but,
no.
Once again, the funny cars set top speed over the dragsters, and all of our listeners know how that makes me mad.
Well, when you go 334 miles an hour, man, I mean, you are flying. I don't care what you're in, but yeah, I understand. You're a dragster guy.
Dragsters should just be faster. They should always be faster.
You're right. I mean, they are. They're the show. They're the
They're the
last
king
one.
of the sport. They're the king of the sport. I
Right.
mean, there's no reason.
Exactly.
Whatever.
So, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. First, after the break, we will talk to the Vice President of Communications and Public Relations for the NHRA, Terry Blount, will join us next.
You're listening to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. More right after this.
Ever wish your kid came with an instruction manual? I'm behavioral therapist James Lehman, and I'll show you how to change your child's behavior now with the Total Transformation, the program that helps stop defiance, backtalking, lying, acting out in school, even problems with ADD and ADHD. There's no screaming, no fighting, no frustration. Your child will listen to you again. I guarantee it.
Change your child's behavior now with the Total Transformation. Call now. 1-800-406-2945. 1-800-406-2945.
Ready to take the training wheels off your race scanner? Go to fanvision.com and upgrade your experience with FanVision. Not only will you be able to hear the race,
Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets a good run, drafting help from Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. Jr. again pulls up alongside for the race lead.
you'll see every moment through live video, instant replays, live stats, and more.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, driver of the #1 Cessna Chevrolet, and I never go to the track without my FanVision. So go to fanvision.com to rent or buy yours today.
Leading the race in innovation, Freightliner trucks designed the Cascadia Evolution to lower your real cost of ownership. When powered by the integrated Detroit powertrain with a DT12 automated manual transmission and intelligent powertrain management, the Cascadia Evolution can achieve up to a 13% fuel efficiency increase over the first generation EPA 2010 compliant Cascadia model, keeping you on the road and in the race longer. Learn more about the Cascadia Evolution at FreightlinerTrucks.com. Freightliner Trucks. Run smart.
It's The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now here's Marty Hough and Doug Herbert.
Well, as mentioned, one of the most interesting weekends that we've seen in NHRA in quite some time. This weekend at Pacific Raceway is just outside of Seattle. And on the telephone line to talk about that right now is the Vice President of Communications and Public Relations for the NHRA, Terry Blount, joins us. Terry, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Terry, what an incredible last few weeks that the NHRA had and you have had out there at the drag races with the incredible coverage on Fox, all the PR that's going along with it, on the network, live. Tell us a little bit about what's going on and bring us up to speed about the things from your perspective and what you see going forward.
Yeah, Doug, it's been unbelievable. The last 3 weeks, of course, have been on the Fox network live, and while we've had a few rain challenges through that, the ratings have been unbelievable for us. We're just so happy with where we're headed. Our ratings for the season now are up 41% over a year ago on Sunday shows.
Right.
I mean, that is an unheard of number in today's television landscape where people have 500 channels to choose from. So to be up by that is exactly what we were actually way more than we were hoping for going into this year with Fox. And, our total viewers for the year, counting all the shows we've had, which are our qualifying shows, our Sunday finals, our re-airs, is 25.7 million, and that's 80% higher than a year ago.
Wow.
And that's because people have so many more opportunities to see us. We're on 4 times as much, 530 hours compared to 125 last year. So it's just been everything we could hope for. And then we've also had some great crowds. We've had 4 sellouts this season. We had a Sunday sellout in Sonoma. We almost announced a sellout on Saturday at Seattle. We were just a couple of hundred short. And so we're really pleased with where things are heading without question.
The last of the Western Swing happening this weekend at Pacific Raceways, unfortunately, because of weather and delays on the track because of unforeseen circumstances. Unfortunately, having to take those final rounds to different areas, to Brainerd and to Indianapolis. What were the factors into making the decision to run those final rounds at another venue?
Several factors were involved when we sat and talked about it. Number one is the forecast for Monday was actually not very good. I don't know how much it rained there Monday because I left earlier in the day, but it wasn't great either. That was number one. Number two, they do have a local ordinance there in Kent, Washington about not running on Mondays. Now, we probably could have gotten an exemption for that in this case, but we really wanted to be, good neighbors with all the people that live in that area and not try to inconvenience them if we could. The other reason is we just had one round to go. So you're talking about 15 minutes of actual race time, with those 3 particular classes. And the infrastructure that you have to put in place just to open the facility to do that is really quite a large expense. It's also a huge expense to all our teams just to have to be there for an extra day, extra hotel, extra rental cars, extra, food, the whole thing. So we just felt the best option was to move the nitro classes to Brainerd in 2 weeks and make it part of qualifying, the third round of qualifying on Saturday up there. And then the reason we moved the Pro Stock final to Indianapolis Labor Day weekend is because of Aaron Strong. He's a local guy that made the final from Seattle, a really fantastic Cinderella kind of story with everything that's gone on in Pro Stock this year. And he had no plans to go to Brainerd and really didn't have the funding to do so. So in order to help him out, and by the way, his competitor, Vincent Nobile, agreed to this as well, that he was going to run Indy. So we're just going to run that final at Indy to help out Aaron. Vincent Nobile and his team were all for that. We thought that was the fair thing to do for him, so that's why we moved the Pro Stock final to Indianapolis.
Wow. Well, that's a lot of moves there. Yeah. How does moving the finals there change things for the TV and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of a bonus in a way, because what we're going to be able to promote is the fact that we have an actual final in the nitro categories at Brainerd in qualifying 3 on that Saturday afternoon. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to break a little news here that we haven't told anybody yet. This is how good Fox has been to us this year. Fox is going to agree to let us have a 30-minute live show window on Saturday so we can show live that final round as part of third round qualifying from Brainerd. That is just really shows what a great partner they have, how they've tried to do everything they could for us. As a matter of fact, on Sunday, they extended our window by an hour, and we just couldn't get it in. But that's a really big deal, so we'll be able to show that for everybody, and it's kind of a bonus for the people at Brainerd, obviously, but our fans will be able to see it on television, and that's a fantastic thing for us.
Terry, along with live network television also comes a little bit of pressure of being able to get those rounds off as quickly as possible. How has the NHRA been working with teams to try to hurry those up as much as possible and to give the viewers at home as much as possible when it comes down to live television?
Yeah, it really hasn't been as big a problem as we thought it would be coming in, and that is, first of all, teams are getting used to this. We've been live before a few times with ESPN. They're kind of used to it and know what to expect. But the other thing is we've just done a so much better job of communicating between the teams, between our race control with Graham Light, and also with television as they change as we go. And we've all been communicating about it. All the teams understand how important this is for us. And we've also greatly improved the inspection process and kind of made it more streamlined. So the post-race inspection is quicker and easier for everyone. We're trying to help them as much as possible. And frankly, almost every time this year, the teams have been back up to the line before they needed to be. So it hasn't been a problem so far. I mean, obviously these guys have to work quickly, and to watch them work in 50 minutes time between rounds is really an incredible thing to see. That's almost as exciting as watching the race to watch what those guys do in 45 minutes. So it's been good so far. Everyone's kind of adjusted, and we've all tried to help each other.
Hey, Terry, tell us, everybody was familiar with Alexa's crash that she had over at Sonoma a couple weeks ago that took her out of competition this weekend in Seattle. And then Courtney had another crash this past weekend. Tell us what you know and update us on what's going on there and when we can expect to see those women back in competition.
Yeah, a couple of things. Courtney's doing well. She was very fortunate. She had a really hard collision with the wall there when she tried to get back in the throttle in her first-round match. It's very similar to Alexis, what happened to Alexis. Courtney doesn't have any broken bones. She is pretty banged up. She's got a pretty big bruise on her right elbow, and her knee's a little swollen. She's getting looked at by an orthopedic doctor right now in Lake Tahoe, where they're kind of taking a little mini vacation this week. But she definitely plans to race at Brainerd. She's ready to go as an emergency backup. Just if she couldn't go, her big sister, she's got big sister to step in the car if need be. Mm-hmm. Ashley would get back in the car. I don't think that's going to happen. I know Courtney. She is just like her dad. She's going to be in that car if at all possible. As far as Alexis goes, I don't think she's made a definitive decision on Brainerd yet. That She may wait one more event to get back. She's healing well. She's been in a lot of pain, as any pelvic fracture would be. But I think she'll definitely be back for Indianapolis and for the Traxxas Shootout. I think Brainerd right now is probably a little 50-50-ish for her.
Terry, you mentioned the live attendance numbers are up as well. 4 or 5 different sellouts, one of them being down here at ZMAX Dragway, another one down the road at Atlanta, Sonoma on a Sunday, which is just absolutely fantastic as well. What do you attribute the live attendance rating or increase in ticket sales as well?
I think it all ties together. The fact that we're getting so many more viewers on television, they see it and say, wow, I'd really like to go to that event when it's in my city. And it's the fact that we're getting a lot more media attention. We've had several big stories in USA Today. As a matter of fact, next week they're doing a big story on Angel Sampei. We've been in the New York Times, the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Parade Magazine, 2 big stories in Forbes Magazine, all this kind of national coverage, and the fact that we have so many more viewers on Fox this year, that all kind of ties together. The more they see you, the more they have an opportunity to read about you, the more people want to come out to the events. And we've had some really exciting things happen this year. The Atlanta race, which was our highest rated race of the year, is when we had the closest finish in history. The finish between J.R. Todd and Doug Kalitta, when Kalitta won by basically 0.4 of an inch at 320 miles an hour. So that, by the way, trended on Facebook for 2 days.
Wow.
Those kind of things all add up. So I don't think it's any one thing. It's just the fact that you add all these things together and more people want to buy tickets and come see what's happening out there.
For our people that have logged on that are watching our streaming coverage, we're running kind of a highlight reel of the 2016 season to date. And one of the things early on during the season was really kind of called the year of the woman, or the year of the female, with so many females getting into victory lane. That had to have been, and obviously there's a lot of females that are driving and competing in NHRA competition, but it's still to the mainstream, to the masses. This is this is kind of a big deal, something unusual, and I'm sure that had to do something with it.
I'm glad you brought that up. There's no question that helped. We almost have some direct proof of it, and that is we do this thing with a company called Hough that lists all our social media numbers of our drivers and show who's the most popular from month to month. Our women tend to be in the top, most of them tend to be in the top 10 all the time. And as a matter of fact, several of them are always in the top 5. Leah Pritchett, Courtney, Brittany, Alexis, they all tend to be in the top 5. One month, Alexis, after she won, was we do this one number which says how many people want to interact with you on social media on a daily basis. It was 225,000. So and that they see those numbers and they want to do more on social media. So they've always been among our most popular. And I think what people have noticed now is all motorsports, of course, most have women that compete now, but our women win. They compete for championships. So it's been huge for us. Leah is so incredibly popular. We're so happy she has this sponsorship now with Mopar and with Papa John's Pizza, which I think is going to grow bigger and bigger for her, where she, now she's in a really competitive ride with Don Schumacher Racing. So that's huge for us. That's been big. Of course, now we've kind of moved into the year of the funny car. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. It's just been amazing what those guys and gals are doing this year in the funny car class. It's been exceptional.
Terry, you've been pretty busy with the Western Swing the last few weeks, and I follow you on Twitter and social media, and you do a lot of different things all over. What's your plan for the upcoming couple weeks here now that you have a little bit of time off? You're always going somewhere fun.
There's no time off. I mean, I'm like an obstetrician waiting for a baby to be born every day here. I think it's kind of what it's kind of like, but we just want to move forward and keep the momentum going. We have so much positive momentum. We started the season calling it the shifting gears into a new era. And now we've kind of transitioned into what we're trying to tell people is we're the fastest growing motorsport. And it's true. It's not just a saying. I mean, the facts back it up. We really believe we are. We're at a time where so many motorsports are struggling with attendance and struggling with TV numbers. We're going in the other direction. And we're very proud of that. And we hope we can keep that trending and keep that message out there. Obviously, heading into the U.S. Nationals is big for us with the Traxxas Shootout, and that is, by the way, our next Fox Network live event. As a matter of fact, on Monday on Labor Day, we have 5 hours of live television, 2 on FS1 and then 3 hours on the Fox Network. 5 consecutive hours of live television. That has never happened in our history, and we're so excited about that, and we hope we're going to put on a great show at Indy on Labor Day for everyone to see.
Yeah, and then after Indianapolis, we'll be looking forward to you coming down here to ZMAX Dragway, and hopefully you'll join us that Thursday night as you did last year, and the NHRA crew always does at our Breaks Gala on Thursday night, September 15th.
Well, it's something I always look forward to. It's such a great event. You know, it's so meaningful to tell these kids the dangers of what could happen and how they need to do the right thing when they're driving, and I think it really hits home for them, and it hits home for parents too, parents of teenagers. So I love being a part of it and love being a part of that event, and we think that'll be a great event to open our playoff, and hopefully we'll get another sellout there like we had in the race earlier this season. So it's always one of our best events and certainly one of our best venues without question.
No kidding. Well, that is great. Terry Blount, thanks for joining us today. Terry Blount, the VP from the NHRA of Advertising and Public Relations. Thanks, Terry. We appreciate it, and we'll look forward to seeing you in a few weeks here at ZMAX Dragway.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Terry Blount with the NHRA giving us the lowdown on what exactly the factors were in making the decision to move the finals to Brainerd into Indianapolis. And I
they all had their plane tickets booked, and they didn't want to miss their flight home. He was searching a little bit there, but that's okay. I get it. Yeah. I understand. But I don't know. I bet if you asked Del Worsham and Ron Capps, they'd say, hey, let's get this done.
Yeah.
I would think that they would say that.
And
I would think that that our final round pro stock guy, Aaron Strong, he would probably say that too. I mean, he's at Seattle. He's got the momentum going.
That's his home track. Right. Absolutely.
I mean,
yep.
You know, going to Indy and run the final round. Okay, that's great and all that, but that's his home track. Yeah, he wanted to run it there. Oh. Everybody that was there racing, when you're running, and the good thing on the flip side is Terry brought up that live TV on Fox from Brainerd on Saturday covering the final rounds. That is going to be good.
Yeah,
so
that'll be cool.
You know what? That is a trade-off for it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure if you asked all those guys, they'd say we want to run.
Yep, exactly.
Seattle.
You know, and especially when you've had the kind of run of good luck that Aaron Strong had. I mean, let's face it. He was the 14th qualifier, and I mean.
Yeah,
when you have three of your competitors that are at the top of the field, Greg Anderson, Eric Anders Stevens, and Bo Butner, and they all break at some point during their run against you, man, it's your day. You better get out there and buy a lottery ticket while you're at it.
Right. And one thing Terry said that does make a lot of sense is that the houses and all the community around the Pacific Raceways, it's a big deal, and they really have to fight to keep that track open and keep the neighbors happy and all that. So I do understand that because I know that is a real issue with the track there. We had a brake school up there a few months ago, and even just doing a little brake school, we had some issues with the neighborhood. They don't like noise. It's in a really serene place. You've been there. It's a neat location. It's incredible, but it's also, people want their quiet time.
Yep, exactly. So if there's a bit of a trade-off, and understand where the NHRA is coming from, and have to move that from Pacific Raceways and moving it to two different venues. And we'll be looking forward to the finals in Q3 at Brainerd for the Nitro categories. When we return, we'll talk more about a crazy weekend this weekend in Seattle right after this.
This is The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. More coming up right after this.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
If you or your family love the freedom of swimming any time of year, if you love sharing good times and making great memories, or if you want one of the best total body workouts ever, then it's time to discover the 3 C's of your very own endless pool. The first C is convenience. Imagine swimming year-round in your own private swimming pool, installed indoors or out, just steps away. The second C is comfort. With sculpted spa seats and your own adjustable temperature, you can easily escape the stress of your day. And the third C is cost. Your endless pool is an affordable luxury at a fraction of the cost of a regular pool. And here's a bonus C, choice. Because when you call for your free Endless Pool Idea Kit, you'll receive information on our full line of pools to suit your budget and location.
Call now for free information. 800-283-8089. 800-283-8089.
Welcome back to the Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Here's more with Marty Hough and Doug Herbert.
Big thanks to Terry Blount from the NHRA for joining us on the Straight Line. Check it out. If you're in Michigan, you are in luck because the O'Reilly Shredder is headed your way with a bunch of dates right there on the screen. Muskegon, Walker, Belding, Lowell, lots of places where you can check out the O'Reilly Shredder, which is basically show car, NASCAR show car. It's really cool, just like it is on the track. So you can go to O'ReillyAuto.com/shredder to check out where all the appearances are for next week. And they are all in Michigan. I guess maybe deserved, maybe not. Pacific Raceways has not really had one of the best reputations on the NHRA schedule, but this weekend, man, they have really made the improvements. You can tell NHRA obviously has helped them with that. But when you run 9 of the 10 quickest runs in funny car history, your surface is really good.
That's right. Well, they've had a reputation for being a one-lane track for quite some time. I mean, that's no secret.
Yeah.
And it's bumpy on the top end, which is no secret either.
Yeah.
So all these things generally don't contribute to running really fast, especially with funny cars. Dragsters usually can kind of get over the little bit bumps in the track, but the funny cars are very prone to making it smoke the tires or causing them to get out of the groove and all these different things. So, yeah, for those performance numbers there, it is sea level. Seattle is sea level. So the engines always make a lot of power.
They're
at
happy.
Seattle.
Yeah.
But, wow, yeah, some incredible numbers. Tony Schumacher, low ET in qualifying, and then Antron Brown comes out round 2 versus Clay Millican, sets low ET of the race against Clay with his best career speed. Del Worsham setting a national record in funny car. Yeah, pretty impressive.
33 runs. This stat, courtesy of Brad Littlefield of National Dragster. 33 runs broke the previous track record. The previous track record, Jack Beckman broke the national ET record, and that's when everybody was just smashing the world record every week.
Yeah.
But it was 391.2, I believe. 33 runs broke the track record. 8 runs ran past the national record heading into this weekend's event. I mean, that's just in funny car. That's just mind-boggling numbers.
That is mind-boggling. And then, another thing that I think is quite a bit of a story, really, is the domination of Jason Line and Drake Anderson this year, and then Vincent Nobile coming in, being low ET.
Yeah.
Jason Line still setting top speed for the race, but that was, that's kind of a big deal for the Pro Stock class. So pretty neat. John Force, a little bit of bad news probably for them. He was the one going into Seattle with a chance to sweep the swing with wins at Denver and Sonoma. Didn't get it done at Seattle, so but what he showed that he's back. We talked about that last week. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they've really kind of figured out that they've figured out that Chevrolet body. It's taken them a while because Force broke the body in his second run, so they've kind of figured that out, and it's good to see them.
Well, I know I was talking to Andy Graves from Toyota, and they're really doing some stuff over there with the Toyota bunch. As can be evidenced with Del Worsham's team and some of the other Toyota funny cars.
Thanks to everybody involved. We will talk to you next week right here on The Straight Line.
You've been listening to The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Tune in again next Thursday at noon Eastern on MotorRacingNetwork.com and the MRN app. The Straight Line is the show for drag racing fans and is brought to you by Hercules Tires. This program is also available on demand at the MRN.com Media Center, or you can download it through iTunes or Stitcher. The Straight Line is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.